Well, I go through life, and at times, in certain areas, I still don't know what I want really. Sometimes I think I do, but it turns out I'm not so sure. Like, for example, I accomplish a feat, or I do something that I'm really proud of. I want to tell people, and selfishly, part of that is because I kind of want to get their reaction, and kind of get some compliments thrown my way. And a lot of times that happens. But after it happens, I'm sometimes like, I don't know, do I really deserve that high praise, really? I'm not so sure. And that's what we're going to talk about here right now with Dr. John Braccio, Regional Psychological Services in East Lansing, our Psychologically Speaking segment, if you will. We'll talk about why people cannot accept compliments. An interesting topic here. Good morning, Doc. How are you?
Well, Rich, always good talking with you. And I might add, having worked with you a number of times over the years, and, when you're there, when Davis is there, I must say you always do a good job. So
Thank you very much.
A compliment. And when I listen to you, sure, in the radio, so that is, I'll see, you're able to take that compliment. But I might add, there are many people, in fact, it's really surprising how many people have problems accepting compliments. It's really unfortunate because really, we need that. It gives us good feelings. If we do something and someone notices it, then that tends to be positive. But when you have problems doing this, it really, it's really difficult because you can become embarrassed. You can even question the honesty of people offering them if your self-esteem is really that low. So really, it's counterintuitive because when you just think of it on the face of it, you think, well, golly, people like to be complimented. But if you really think about it, people could even be yourself in some cases, there's a way to kind of push these things off and not accept them. Now, if I can give you some examples on why this happens, One is low self-esteem. There are people that really believe they're not worthy of a compliment. Two, social anxiety. There are people that don't want to be noticed. They just want to be absorbed into the background. And that's what they desire. The imposter phenomenon. These are people, or syndrome. These are persons who believe they'll eventually be found out as imposters. They, in effect, believe people don't understand how flawed they are, or they're just trying to make them feel good. Or at worst, they're not telling the truth and just giving false praise. Four, there's people, believe it or not, there are people that they're fearful of higher expectations. They really don't want to do more. They're doing things, they're kind of moving along, and all of a sudden they get compliments, and then they believe they're going to have to do more things. So that's kind of really a negative one. Then five, there's people that have humbleness and humility on steroids, I call it, that they just feel really not right, and they really don't want to receive compliments and be noticed. And then six, we have perfectionism. There are people that believe they've never done anything right, not completely right, so they don't deserve a compliment. So these are kind of the things that really slow people down, and it is important to receive compliments, because if you can't, then your self-esteem can really, really suffer. And if I can go a little further here also, the key thing is to really have to love yourself better and accept in yourself what others see in you. Good self-esteem grows when we internalize the genuine good others see in our heart and our actions. And it does bother me, because I do personally, when I talk to people that really are so good, do so many good things, and they almost fluff it off or put it on someone else, or just kind of embarrassed, like, oh, it really wasn't that big of a thing, or, I don't know, well, Mary or Judy or John or, really are the main thing, this type thing. So this is something to work on. So if you are a person, and I don't mean you specifically, but plural we, that has problems accepting compliments, really, it's time to say if you deserve it, and if people see it in you and they want to give it to you, just say thank you and appreciate it, and just move on in life. And if we can accumulate these things, it can lead us to even doing more good things and being more successful as we are noticed and appreciated in life.
Could people who have trouble accepting compliments, could part of it be maybe because they don't give out compliments enough? Like perhaps is there kind of that guilty feel among people? You know, they get this high praise, but sometimes they feel that they don't give high praise to other people, when they accomplish a certain task. Is that can that be a factor there too?
Well, it could be. I mean, that wouldn't be, I think, a large factor, but sure, I think there are people that don't give compliments. And so they then don't think they deserve them either. They're kind of a person that lives in the world. You just do your duty, and you don't give or take. Okay, that's kind of a sad way to live a life, I might add also.
Sure.
But there are people that, there are also people that feel if you give a compliment, people won't try as hard. Okay, so then you're always being, well, there are people like that, kind of the
Sure.
old negativity thing. You know, just I had an aunt, whenever you cut her grass, my great aunt, many years ago, she always seemed to find something you didn't do. And we kind of accepted that. We kind of waited, well, what is she going to find today? Okay, and she was a great person, don't hear me wrong, but she kind of almost lived by that theory that we don't want to say something is done completely right because then the person won't try as hard. But my belief is that is a negative thing, too. I think if someone does something that you appreciate or something that you really notice, I think it is good to notice it. Like I have with you, actually, Rich. I think you do a great job at what you're doing. That's meant to be a compliment. Dave does, too, both of you. I've tried. And that's, now, if I thought you didn't do something, I wouldn't be out advertising it. Like, that Jeffrey
Right.
Herl, that Ohio State fan. What's he doing in Michigan? I mean, well, I'm not going to do that. In fact, I like Ohio State, as a matter of fact. So I'm just saying that negativity is negative. So I think if we can notice compliments and we can accept them and we give them, I think that's a good way to lead a life. Really, that's a happy way to lead a life for you and the people you interact with.
Well, I appreciate the compliments to me and Dave and the station here, and let me throw it back at you, Doc. I think you do a great job in this segment of the show. I enjoy doing the Tuesday mornings here with you. I think you provide some great insight into some of these topics here. Now, as for those out there who who kind of struggle with this, is there any factor that kind of sticks out like a sore thumb to you? Anything that people struggle with, when they have trouble accepting compliments, but is there like one factor that is common more than the others? Anything that sticks out to you that people have the most trouble with?
Low self-esteem, Rich. There are people that have trouble finding the good in themselves. They have a hard time acknowledging that they're effective, that they're good, that they do good things, and it's really low self-esteem. They think they don't deserve it. And then also you have humble people that feel it's even wrong to be accepting compliments, that you do it and you don't really expect it and you feel awkward, this type thing. But generally it's a low self-esteem. If you do a good deed and you do something good, then if people notice that, that's something that you ought to say thank you. Like I say to you, thank you for the compliments you give to me. I mean, we try to do a good job. I mean, that doesn't mean it's always going to be our best. There's going to be days that we hit a home run and another day a strikeout. Okay?
Right.
It's the cumulative of what we're doing in life. So but it's the self-esteem, and there are people that slough off compliments, so it really wasn't that big of a thing, or you really don't have to notice it, or really someone else was really part of it. You hear these are things we don't necessarily think all the time, but if you keep track of things like that, and I do, I'm always noting if someone can't accept a compliment. I'll say, well, wait a minute, now you did a good job on that. You deserve that. When people come in to my office and they're meeting, or just the road of life, doesn't have to be in my office, people that have problems with a compliment, I will kind of pursue it in a nice way, and I'll say, well, look, I'm sure others have helped, and I'm sure that there are days you may have done better, or there are days you want to do better, but today what you did, hey, that was a good act, and you were helpful, and you said hello to someone who was having a hard day, and those are really important things in life. And I think if everybody worked at noting when people do something good and notice it, and then also being willing to accept praise or compliments when you do something, those are reinforcers. It's not that you do something to be praised, but if you do something, it is nice if somebody notices it.
Sure,
right? Hey,
absolutely.
That's a good thing. So these are these are things we can all work on in terms of giving and receiving. And if people can be good at both of those, giving compliments and receiving compliments, those are people that tend to end up with good self-esteem and find the good in themselves and the good in others. I mean, that's really love thy neighbor as thyself. You know, you can find things in others and find things in yourself.
Yeah, definitely, and you're very healthy mentally with that mindset. So there you go. Someone throws high praise your way, take it. If you can give it back, even better. Dr. John Braccio, Regional Psychological Services of East Lansing. Doc, thanks so much for joining us this morning.
And one last thing, I always like the positiveness of Erin when I call in, okay? You know, always in a good mood when I call in, so I like that attitude. So, anyway.
She always is here behind the scenes, definitely. Doc, thanks again. Appreciate it.
Okay, bye-bye.
And you're listening to the 1320 WILS Morning Wake Up. Rich Herl here with you, filling in for Dave. And he's right about Aaron, by the way. He is. More straight ahead right here on More Compelling Talk Radio, 1320 WILS.